Can everyone hear me okay? Yeah? Yes?
Yes.
All right. My name, like JL said, is Jim Wendler. That's a little introduction. I am the strength and conditioning coach at London High School, the prestigious London High School. And last year I attended this and I listened to 3 or 4 people speak. And when I left, I went home to my wife and I told her the biggest, she's like, how was it? What'd you learn? And I said, the biggest takeaway I had was the chasm, that's what I called it. It's not a hole, it's not a gap, it's a chasm between what real coaches are doing and what is being portrayed on the internet as training. And it was like a mind-blowing experience, and I knew that, and I think most of us know that. But if you go through any kind of social media thing, wow, is there a little feedback? If you go through any kind of social media feed or YouTube, I guess that's social media, I don't know how you classify YouTube exactly. What is being portrayed as training and what people are doing, real coaches and real athletes are doing, it was so mind-blowingly different. YouTube and Instagram and all that stuff and everything that's being taught to the younger coaches and trainers and athletes and everything is all about, it's just like a snapshot. And so everyone thinks that's what happens every day. They think they need to beat the shit out of themselves every day. They think there's glory in all that stuff. And the reality is, most of us, when we coach, we just let the kids punch the ticket. That's what I call it, right? We just mail it in. And I know it sounds kind of bad, but I just want you to understand that everyone that you're going to hear speak today is real. What you see on the internet isn't real. And I know the irony of, I helped build my company and Dave's company's on the internet and all that stuff. But one thing I hope that we've portrayed was the truth. And a lot of what I see on the internet is not the truth. And it's a smoke show. Here's a picture of my fake training life, okay? So just understand that. Okay. I'm massively nervous for some reason. Okay, so I train high school athletes. I also train junior high athletes also. And once we started getting this ball rolling, more kids started coming in. You have to understand that you don't need like a physics background or a PhD in exercise science to work with high school kids or to even coach them or get them any better. I said all you need is a little experience and a lot of common sense. That goes all the way, okay? I urge everyone to, I call it bullshit and the baloney. That's what's being fed to you. We have kids, and I'm sure, does anyone here work with high school kids? Okay. It has been my experience, and this is, obviously I've worked with kids before, but their level of preparedness today versus when I was growing up has changed dramatically. Where's Kyle at? Where are you at, buddy?
Right here.
Well, raise your hand, man. Okay, there you are. Oh, okay. That's Kyle. He's going to be he's my head coach. He's my boss. I'll mention him quite a bit because he deserves a lot of this credit. But we have kids come in, and Kyle's done an awesome job building a culture for London High School, the football team. He's a football coach. Where kids are starting to come in and starting to believe a little bit more. We have a very unified training program that if you play football, no matter what other sport you play, you are part of our training program in the off season, even though you are in season with basketball, wrestling, baseball, stuff like that. But we have these kids coming in, and we obviously have kids that come in, and I'm not making this up, we got kids who can't do a bodyweight squat. That's not an exaggeration. We have kids that can't do that. We had a kid the other day, first day in, couldn't jump on a 14-inch box. All right, just, that's this tall, okay? We had to do 12-inch step off and lands, teaching them how to land, stuff like that. If you gave me 10 kids, I think 3 of them as 8th graders can do push-ups. 2 of them can do chin-ups. So the good thing is they suck. And I know it sounds bad, because it doesn't take a lot to get them better. And and I always try to say, with Kyle, when Kyle and I'll get to this, first started talking, and he would ask me, his background's in strength and conditioning. He said, what about this? Why don't we do this? And I said, listen, man, if they can't physically run a mile, I'm not talking jog, I'm talking all-out run. If they can't do that and can't do chin-ups and push-ups, we don't need anything special, okay? And it sounds crazy. I don't know if there's probably a lot of older dudes in here. Do you guys remember, like in 7th and 8th grade, you have to run a mile and you just go out and run a mile? That doesn't happen anymore. And I'm not saying you need to run a mile to play football, but you should have the ability to go all out for a mile, okay? So I'm gonna go over some of the basic stuff, and then I'm gonna go into the meat of what we do. So basically what I'm saying is these kids have no strength base, no aerobic base, and no movement base. We do a lot of gymnastics type movements as part of our warm-up. As you can probably imagine, I'm not the most agile person in the world right now, but just incorporating stuff like cartwheels, it sounds ridiculous. We do a ton of front rolls, handstands, handstand walking, because these kids haven't been exposed to that. And we don't do a lot, we don't spend 30 minutes on this. It's probably 3 or 4 minutes, but 3 or 4 minutes for 4 years, 3 days a week adds up, okay? But that's what we're working with. We don't have the kids that went out in the jungle gym and can do the monkey bars anymore. We just don't have that. So we have to take that as a starting point. We don't have the starting point that I had when I was in junior high or high school. So you guys have to accept that, and don't blame the kids. It's your fault. It's the parents' fault, okay? Not you. You guys understand that? So I got really frustrated. Kyle will tell you, even my wife went up to Kyle because she's like, I can't live with this fucking asshole at home. I get so mad, and I'm like, what do you, like, you gotta give me something to work with. Give me at least a big, good rock so I can chisel. Don't give me a big pile of turds. However, I stayed with it, and I don't want to down these kids, because some of these kids I can talk about, and I love them to death. The changes that have gone on just by doing some of the most basic shit has been mind-blowing.